Hey guys, this is Carrie, and in this video we're going to be solving some square root equations. So we went over the do now as a class, uh, so we're skipping that slide, and then we're going to head over here to the lesson problems. So let f of x equal the square root of 3x plus 36. If f of a is equal to 9, then determine the value of a. Alright, cool, so here we go. Whenever we have these function problems, we need to make sure that we are careful with our input. So we're going to input a in. And I like to draw that little thing on the end of my square root to show that that's where it ends. And when we input a in, the output is 9, so the whole thing will equal 9. Alright, so from here we need to solve for a. So we're going to solve for a using the same method that we always use, inverse operations. So the first thing we have to remove is there's this roof on top of the entire expression. And we can't get at anything inside of here until we get rid of that roof. So the opposite of a square root is a square. So we square both sides. That gives us 3a plus 36 equals 9 squared, which is 81. We subtract 36 on both sides, because now this looks like a normal equation. And we get 3a is equal to, I think, 45. And then we divide by 3 on both sides, and we get that a is equal to 15. And for now, we are done. This input value gives us 9. Alright, so seems pretty straightforward. Let's see if there's any things that we have to worry about with these square roots. Determine the solution set to this equation. Square root of x is equal to negative 9. Alright, well this one's even more straightforward than the last, right? We square both sides, making sure to use parentheses here, because we're squaring that whole side, including the negative. If you don't use the parentheses, your calculator will give you the wrong answer. So squaring and square root cancel here, giving us x is equal to, on the calculator or in our heads, negative 9 squared is 81. And so we would think, hey, we're done with the problem. But guess what? We just fell for the trap. So as we learned yesterday when we looked at Hypasus of Greece and the Pythagorean cult, square roots are dangerous. And not just for mathematical cult members. Square roots will be dangerous for us as well. And the reason why they're dangerous is because sometimes when we do all of the correct math, we get a trap solution. And that's not the mathematical word for it. That's a good carry word maybe to think about it. It is a fake solution here. So to get the right solution, what we want to do is, or actually, let me give you the math name for this. A fake solution, one that we get like this one. This one is actually a fake solution. It's a trap. The mathematical name for that is an extraneous solution. And so to avoid falling for these traps, we always need to check our answer. And I am not really that careful of a person in my actual life or in math really, but with these square root problems, you have to check your answer. Because they will actually give you fake answers or trap answers otherwise. Alright, so let's check this one and see what we mean. So square root, here's our check. Square root of x, well we found that x is 81, is equal to negative 9. But we learned in our do now problem 2, when we take the square root of a number, this is just a single answer. It's the positive answer. 9 is equal to negative 9. That is not true. So that means that this solution is mad fake. It is totally out. So it turns out that this has no solution. Now there are a couple of notations that we use when we have no solution. We set up a set of solutions. And if we had any solutions, we would have put the solutions inside of those curly parentheses. But because we have no solutions, there's nothing in this solution set. I think that's good for now. So actually going back to this one here, who knows, maybe that was a trap answer too. We do have to check it. So we'll plug in here, square root of 3 times 15 plus 36, and we're wondering when we input a, does that actually give us 9? So I like putting the question marks there because we're wondering if they're equal. 3 times 15 is 45 plus 36. That's square root of 81 is 9. Square root of 81, we know that has one answer, that's just 9. 9 equals 9. Okay, this one did work. All right, so we are in good shape here. All right, but there's something even crazier that can happen. Let's see what happens with problem number 3. Determine the solution set to this equation. All right, well, it actually looks pretty similar to the last one. We've got square root of x squared plus 200 equals 3x. To get at any of this stuff inside here, we're going to need to get rid of this roof on top. So let's square both sides. Now, really important here, we're squaring the whole side here, so we put it in parentheses. These cancel out, and that gives us x squared plus 200 is equal to 3x squared is going to be 3x times 3x. 3 times 3 is 9. X times x is x squared by definition, right? X times x is always going to be x squared. All right, cool. So we're up to this part. Now we need to solve for x. But we've got x squareds on both sides. So we need to have x squared on only one side so we can isolate it. So I'm going to minus the x squared here. That gives us 200. Now these are like terms, so we're going to be able to combine them. We have 9x squared, and we're subtracting just x squared, which is the same as 1x squared. So 9x squared minus 1x squared gives us 8x squared. And now we just solve for x like normal. So here the 8 is the furthest from the x group, so we divide by 8. That gives us x squared is equal to, 25, I think? Check your calculator here. Make sure you go on to Desmos and you type this in. It should be giving you 25, I think. And finally, to cancel out the square here, we take the square root of both sides. But just like we learned in the do now, when we do a square root to cancel a square, that gives us two solutions because the exponent was 2. So we get x equals 5 or x equals negative 5. So we're done with the problem, right? No, because we started with the square root. We're in danger here. One or both of these answers may actually be traps. So we do need to check each of them separately. Let's check x equals 5, and let's check x equals negative 5. So when we're checking these, we go back to the, and you can't do it in any of the intermediate steps here. You actually have to go back to the original problem. So for this check, we're going to grab the original problem here. Square root of, well, x is 5 here, so 5 squared plus 200 is equal to 3 times 5. And you're making sure to plug the same x value into both spots. All right, well, we get square root of 5 squared is 25 plus 200 is equal to 3 times 5 is 15. Square root of 25 is equal to 15. Square root of 225, if you go onto Desmos and you type in this on your calculator, well, that actually does give you 15. So life is good here. Let's check the other one. Here we're plugging in negative 5 for both x's. So we get square root of negative 5 squared plus 200 is equal to 3 times negative 5. All right, well, negative 5 squared, oh my gosh. Negative 5 squared is 25 plus 200 is equal to 3 times negative 5, which is negative 15 this time. We get square root of 225 is equal to negative 15. Square root of 225 from before, or you do it again on your calculator, that's just one answer. That's 15, and 15 is not the same thing as negative 15. Whoa. So this answer was fake, so we have to eliminate this answer. Thus, we only have the single solution, x is equal to 5. And if you want to write this as a solution set, this time our set of answers has one answer inside of it, And that answer is 5. Now, I know it's going to be tempting to be like, oh, whenever you have a negative number, that's got to be the extraneous solution. But that is not true. I'm going to make up problems today that are going to trick you, and you're going to actually end up with the positive one being extraneous. Or you're going to end up with both of them being extraneous. Or you'll end up with neither one of them being extraneous. So we really do need to check both of them. And that's coming from somebody who really doesn't like to check his work. With square roots, it's not an option because they give us trap answers. Okay, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Good luck with your practice problems. Make sure you get through checkpoints 1. Do all the problems because they'll build up to here. And then checkpoint 2 and checkpoint 3, okay? All right, bye.